All right. We should be good. Yo, yo, yo. Test. Test. Let's get it going. Fired up, man. I'm fired up. Chat, can I get a 1? Let me get a 1 if we sound good. Do we sound good? Do I got to refresh? Are we ready to go? Hold on. Let me get this on. Man, the games today are crazy. Crazy. Disappointing. A lot of disappointment. A lot of crazy games, though. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good. Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yo, I don't know what's going on my camera. I don't know if I changed the setting or something. Is that real? I don't know. I look like I got like marks on my face or something. I don't know what's going on, man. But we're live. We're live. We're back. We're here for our takeaways episode from this Lions-Packers 34-31 game. Yeah, the Rams one is the game right now. I got it on my phone over here on the right, but I just wanted to knock this out. Wanted to go live, put this video out there. That way people could rewatch it. Try not to make this thing too long because we have a little bit of extra time. I think as we get into the week a little bit, I can revisit this. So that's kind of my plan, is to like knock it out now. We can revisit this if we have to. But I want to get this thing out throughout the weekend because we have a little bit of extra time. So let's not waste that time. Let's get into it. And this live stream is being brought to you by BetUS, as you see at the top, YouTube 150. That's the code. 150% deposit match first deposit, 125% your next two. That's their sign-up bonus up to $2,000. So if you don't have a sports book, if you don't have an account, make an account with BetUS, man. YouTube 150. It's in the description. We're going to do this like we normally do these, where I show some clips, talk about some key plays that stuck out to me, talk about the players. Yo, I look crazy, though. Anyway, talk about the players that stuck out from this game because there was a lot of things. And then just some like little extras. There's a lot of little extras from this game. Now, I'm not going to get into any of the craziness, I guess, that happened on social media after the game. I mean, I'm not really going to get into it because I don't know what to say, to be honest. Easy brought it up to my attention. You know, the Kirby Joseph stuff and all that stuff. Look, man. We handling business. That's what it is. You're going to get a lot of haters when you're handling business, okay? We are choppy. All right, so that's crazy. Main takeaway is Nick Wright, fanboy, Asium. Mahomes presents being impartial to the Lions. Yeah, you know, it makes sense, though. It does make sense, though, because a lot of choppy. Oh, snap. Oh, okay. All right, well, hold on. Let me refresh it. Oh, I wonder if that's... Yeah, that's weird. All right, we should be good now. We should be good. Usually it takes one refresh. Usually it takes one. All right, we should be good. Hey, man, yeah, so let me know if we're good. But, no, it does make sense because he is a Chiefs fan. And I picture myself, if I was on a show like that, like I would have some bias to the Lions. Like, there's no doubt. You know what I mean? So I do understand it. I get it. The one thing that got me with him, though, in particular, was then he started bringing up the small hands and all that stuff. It's like, come on, man, what are we doing? Here we go again. We go again with the next small hands. I don't want to hear it. All right, 19 times better. That's good. That means it was really bad, though. If it's 19 times, it was awful. A couple of stats, just like right into it before we get going here. So I'm charting the plays, and some of these, like, I'm not gonna 100% consider them man coverage because it's more of a combination. But the true straight man coverage defensively, right? I had the Lions. Jordan Love was 5 completions on 13 targets. Straight man coverage. Now, there were other plays that you could have considered man coverage, a few others, mainly in the red zone. But then there's also, to that 5-13, there was a couple of PIs defensively, one early in the game, Brian Branch. There was also an offensive pass interference within that as well. But a couple of those completions were a 2-yard completion with inside the 10-yard line, and then the one we saw to Carlton Davis over the middle of the field, and I'll show that play. 5 of 13 in man coverage for Jordan Love. I bring that up because this was something, going back to last year we had brought up, is like, hey, man coverage is kind of the thing for the Packers. Like, that's what we have to be able to do. And I think when you just look at those numbers, it kind of tells the entire story. I mean, versus straight zone coverage rest, because Jordan Love is only 12 for 20 in this game. He was almost perfect passing in this game. He wasn't perfect, but he was almost perfect. The first sack that he took was zone coverage to Zadarius Smith right away. Zone coverage, too deep. Lions brought a blitz. But for the most part, he was almost perfect in zone. really bad against man coverage. So, and I don't want to say that he was bad against man coverage. I just point that back to how good the Lions have been in that spot. So that continues to be a staple the Lions continue to be able to lean into. And I think that number kind of says it all. I didn't realize it was like that until I went through. And then I flipped it around on the opposite side because it was weird watching this game back. I'll be honest, it was weird watching the Packers and their decision-making defensively. I was a little bit like, what are they doing? I was a little confused. They did things that I didn't really expect to see. Now, I will say, I think what Ben Johnson's adjustments have been, what the Lions' offensive adjustments have been, aren't just what they did last time they played the Packers. This, to me, goes back to how last season ended against the Packers, how they lost to the Packers last season on Thanksgiving. It feels like a lot of the things that went wrong in that game, the Lions have definitely adjusted to and found ways to kind of correct by how they're calling the offense. Like, first off, the straight drops, three-step drops, we had like 6 of them in this game. We haven't done that much versus anybody this season. So that was unique. And then you see that, Goff's checking it down a lot in this game. Well, Green Bay, I thought Green Bay in this game was like, hey, we're going to play a lot of 2 deep safeties on first down. We're almost daring you to try to run the football, and they kind of did. And look, this is an upfield attacking team now with Jeff Hafley, but it was like, hey, we're going to play 2 deep safeties in this game. We don't want to get beat because the Lions, like, right? If the Lions get single eye safety on first down and 10, they put that guy in the mix, bam, bam, high, low, we get one-on-ones, and we're just chunking teams. And it was almost like the Packers were like, yeah, we want to avoid that. So on first down, we're not going to do much of that. Now, they did play a lot of man, seemingly on third still, which they usually do, but they were like, let's avoid that being the case. And the Lions' response to it was about as good as it gets. About as good as it gets. I mean, at the end of the game, they got them into that same coverage. I'll show that play. Lions got the setup out there. They knew what they were in. Bam, get to it. Let's hit Jameson. And then on top of that, Goff was super decisive. Let me hit you with these numbers about Goff in this game. This is crazy. It's crazy. Mind-blowing. Last time we played the Packers, Goff wasn't under pressure very much. In this game, Jared Goff had the lowest pressure percentage he's faced this season. 22.7% of his dropbacks resulted in pressure. That was the lowest this season. All right, so that's fantastic. Oh, we're pass protected well. Now, part of that is Packers don't really blitz much, so okay. And now 2 deep safety, not blitz a lot. Yeah, that makes sense. But the other part of that is the offensive line played well. Dan Skipper did a really nice job in pass protection specifically for the most part. But then also on top of that is kind of when you're throwing the football, right? First down, it helps a ton. Play action was a massive part of that specifically in this game. But also Goff was super decisive. Like as much of this 2 deep Tampa 2 coverage that they were dropping into or cover 4, cover 2, Goff's getting the ball out very quickly to his checkdowns or the underneath throw, and it's giving him an opportunity to go make something happen. He's not holding the ball too long in those spots. So I think what ties along the fact with him having that lowest pressure rate of the season is also the fact that he had the lowest time to throw second. That I said that very weird. He had the lowest time to throw Stop. This doesn't make any sense. Lowest time to throw by play in a game this season for Goff at 2.49 seconds. Okay, so less than 2.5 seconds per throw for Goff. He's getting the ball out fast. So again, I think this is deeper than just like last time we played the Packers, what they do. Okay, here's how we're going to play it now. I think this goes back to, hey, how did the Packers beat us on Thanksgiving? Why did they give our offense so many fits? Obviously, we have new personnel that helps. Kevin Zeitler, a big part of that. But at the same time, just the way that we're approaching these games. I mean, last time we played Green Bay on the road, we ran the football. We didn't really have the drop back pass at all in that game, so it was kind of nice. Our defense did their thing, and we played the elements better than they did. This game, it was like, yeah, that's not going to be the problem. Green Bay can score, but we still handled business because we just took everything that seemingly Green Bay gave us. And I will say, I think our defense was better than I initially thought it was. Like, I really thought it was like, ooh, that was a disaster at times. But watching it back, it really didn't feel like it was that bad. I mean, we had a couple of big plays that we gave up, especially from some of the new guys that are in here. But for the most part, it wasn't that bad. Love made some amazing plays, and they ran the ball okay, but they didn't run, like, all over us. I mean, they ran the ball well, I would say. Josh Jacobs had an okay game, but it wasn't like they just bullied us running the football. I mean, Jacobs for this game was 18 carries, 66 yards. He averaged 3.7 a carry. And I mean, maybe it felt better than that a little bit, but it really wasn't great. They didn't run the ball that well. So, and when the Lions at the end needed to button up, they did. They absolutely did at the end of the game, and the red zone defenses continues to be really good. I know they give a 4 or 5 there statistically, but I feel pretty good about the red zone defense. I mean, a couple of those, you're looking at the Lions getting out there late defensively, them just running the ball. One of them specifically to Broderick. The other one, Broderick gets moved back again like 5 yards. So some of that's just straight personnel. But for the most part, like a red zone defense continues to be great. We're really good situationally. Really good. Lions 7 to 15 on third down, 4 or 5 on fourth down. Really good. Really good. They've been great at that. I'm not on social media since 2018. What were Cheeseheads crying about? Hey. What I've seen is, it's just people calling Kirby Joseph dirty, his hits and those kind of things, which, again, I'm not here to go into any of that. I don't, it is what it is, right? He ducks his head when he tackles. He definitely does that. There's no doubt. He's been doing that since college. He ducks his head when he tackles. It doesn't help him. Yeah, it can hurt somebody. That's not great. And hopefully he's not coming with just bad intentions. But at the same time, I think what that is let's change the conversation a little bit. If I'm being honest, let's talk about something else, because we just got swept, and this game meant a lot to the Packers, and I understand why they were frustrated. Like I do. I mean, this game had meant a lot to the Packers, and the conversation was, hey, Packers, Lions got all these injuries, bam, bam, they're not going to be the same. And then we still go out there and win the football game. It's like I don't know what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? So, but anyways, besides that, I'll talk about this game. I went through some of the key notes there. Man, coverage doing work, protecting Goff, getting the ball, all those things, man. It's beautiful. I want to go to some of these plays. We do have a good amount of plays. I'll try to go through a little bit faster, like I did with Easy. But we do have a good amount. And I don't want to make this thing like super, super long, because, again, we have the week to kind of go through this again, revisit certain things specifically that do stand out. But I do want to highlight some of the key plays that stuck out when watching. Let me move myself right here, because I'm going to showcase many examples of Green Bay playing that, like the two deep coverage that they played, and just some things that stood out. Like, look, we didn't run the ball that well in this game. And I do think that situationally we ran the ball at times pretty well. I think there was some creativity. A couple of our counter pull runs really hit. We had a really nice trap run that hit. And then we also went to a lot of screens. And I don't think that was by accident. It wasn't like the Lions were, like, to me, screens were 100% a different version of the run game for them in this one. Like, if a team comes down, they're gonna play two deep safety, and they're gonna basically dare you to run the ball on first down, and you're not running that well on first down consistently. Another response to that is, okay, let's run screens, because you're still dropping out. You still have two guys out. You're still driving your linebacker up the seam. So the Lions side approach is like, all right, let's go to screens then instead. Let's throw some of those, and that worked really well. And we've done that before this season. So this isn't the first time we've seen the Lions do this, but it worked really well. So let's dive into a couple of these. First off, this first third down play, and this was great. Lions went out, scored a touchdown, overcame some adversity on this first drive for sure. This was an ugly first drive, couple of drops, but they overcame it. And we start off with this reception here by St. Brown, and you get these things, and immediately you see it, and you're like, all right, they know what they have a good plan for this. Like, they clearly have a good plan for this. And to me, that's what this is immediately, right? This is basically just a pick play. It's kind of a rubber out here. They're going to just bring their outside receiver, Patrick, upfield, run St. Brown underneath it to the sticks, and he breaks an out-breaking route. But the key to me is here, you see that there's no switch. Now, they don't get into a spot where they would switch this off really, because St. Brown never releases outside, so these two don't have to switch. But this is also a team that, at least I had in my notes, that this was a team that was going to lock man coverage in bunches and stacks. They were going to lock it, so you could rub behind it. You could run these stack concepts and kind of push up behind them and use them as natural bigs. Christian McCaffrey and the Niners ran this the week before against the Packers and picked up a first down on it. So Lions kind of did their same little version of that. Bam. It's easy. It's a good setup. St. Brown, of course, runs the route well. It's nice to see, by the way, how many guys that we have that are just winning when we need them to. Like, honestly, there was a point in this game where I'm like, oh, that was Brock Wright? Yo, like, usually when I see a tight end, even if the ball's not going to him, I immediately assume if he got some separation, it's Laporta. But there were a couple of times in this game we created separation. I was like, that was Brock Wright getting open. What? That's Brock Wright. And look, tight ends made some unbelievable grabs. I mean, Laporta had the one drop. They made some unbelievable grabs in this game. As a Steelers fan, I enjoyed James Harrison being called dirty while he was Germans suplexing quarterbacks and winning Defensive Player of the Year. So Lions fans don't worry. Crybaby Packers fans can't handle losing. That was well said, the truth. That was well said, man. We needed that. You know what I mean? Yeah. If the AG doesn't win DC of the year, they should scrap the voting system. AG's doing a good job. I think there's a couple of spots where I feel like he gets a little predictable. I think in red zone he can get a little bit predictable. Specifically like right inside the 20, but before they get to the 10, like straight in the red zone, I think he gets a little bit predictable in his coverage. And there were a couple of beaters that the Packers had One of them, they had a completion. The other one, Love takes off, and we'll show that play. And Za'Darius gets pressure and kind of forces Love away from it, so he never even throws the football over there. Those aren't just a touchdown grab. I'm just saying they had guys like wide open because they knew what we were playing coverage-wise. And I think the thing is that as disguise heavy as Aaron Glenn can be inside the 5 and the 10 because you don't know who's playing man on who, I think once you get to like the 15, a little bit less disguise happens because he's not usually playing man coverage in those spots. He's typically going to zone. And you kind of can tell just by like, oh, they're going to do a 3-by-1. They're bracketing in the number 3. Like you can see it because maybe it's different because, we're watching the lines every week. We do these every week. But if opponent is watching it like we're watching it, you can see like, all right, this is how they're going to play it. So there are those little occasions where I'm like, it's a little bit predictable. But for the most part, it's only a couple plays, maybe a couple plays a game where I'm like, I didn't love that. Like last week in Chicago, I didn't love I think it was cover 1 blitz that they ran when the Bears were in their own end zone on 3rd down. I was like, I don't know why we did that. But that's like one play. Outside of that, it's fantastic. And he's always, now coming in every week with different wrinkles for each team that he sees. So he's always got something unique for each game, which is great. He's always got something unique. And then this was really the difference right here. This was the difference for what the Lions were doing in this game. And they did this many times. The straight drop and look, Goff, get through multiple progressions here. They kind of go into the spacing, flat or the curl flat. Let me actually move this real quick. But yeah, I'm with you. Aaron Glenn has done a fantastic job. I agree there. All right, let me make sure I get the right place here. Yeah. Okay. And two, with these plays, like specifically, like there's a route detail that the Lions receivers have. Like they have these like adjustments in the routes, it feels like, where based on the coverage, like here when it's too deep pre-snap and at the snap, safety rolls down into this sky roll, right? It becomes cover 3 all of a sudden. Like they have a receiver room that understands it and they feel it. So they feel like the defensive backs bailing. So in this case, right, linebacker works out to the flat, cornerback's now on top of JMO. He feels that. So rather, running into the zone coverage, he kind of just like breaks down and settles down his route right in front of the bailing cornerback. That's one thing that's pretty noticeable when you watch the receiver play is that they're very good with the details of it. And they find a way to adjust to the coverage that's like there. So even if you do disguise it and they're running like these quick concepts, they kind of find the little openings very well. In this case, we delivered there to Jim. I think he actually dropped that pass, but it was still nice to kind of see him get himself open. He dropped that one. That's not great. And then Goff, to me, played, I think he played one of the best games of the season that he's played. I don't think it was perfect when watching it back, but I still think it was a top-tier game from Goff in this one. And then here, this is a 3rd down and 3. He hits Jamison over the middle of the field here. And this one was cool, too, because you could see defensively what they were looking for. They kind of collapsed it underneath, so he had to find kind of that second-level throw. Pass protection was really good. As talked about, Dan Skipper did a really nice job in pass pro. He was getting on dudes quick. He was winning the reps early. He was just shutting it down. I mean, look at him right here, one-on-one. I thought he did really good against Rashawn Gary. Here he is on Rashawn Gary, actually. Now, he gets a little chip help, yeah, but he gets on him early, and he kind of just shuts it down from there. I thought he did a great job. Referees were horrible. I don't doubt that. I mean, they were bad against the Bears for us, too. I mean, hey, the officiating is messy. There's no doubt the officiating has been messy in the NFL. I don't disagree. There were plays that I didn't like on either side for this one, to be honest with you. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And, like, if we're referring to something specific, I got you. I don't know what that would be. But, yeah, officiating can be rough. It can be rough. I won't go into that in this video because, again, like, it is what it is. Like, that's out of the control. What are we actually doing kind of thing. But I'm with you. But, yeah, with what we have seen, we've definitely done well. Let's see how our defense goes against the Bills. Yeah, it's going to be fun, especially with a healthy Josh Allen after really last time we saw him. Like, they weren't completely healthy. They were a little bit, like, hobbled. This week coming in healthy. Right now they're battling the Rams, but it looks like they're going to lose this football game. So that I mean, here's the thing. They lose this game, they just might not get the 1 seed. They really need the Chiefs to lose the football game. That's where it's at. They lose this game. They really need Chiefs to get to lose the game. So they might be out of that race, but they're kind of locked into where they are because they're definitely going to win that division. But yeah, I like this one because they kind of took away Laporta and St. Brown underneath. And here, this is one of more of their covers 3 spots, but the pass protection is on point. JMO separates, and we're doing a really nice job with the safety play. Goff's eye specifically with the discipline there. He's moving in the pocket well in this one. I thought he was fantastic. What's up, Thomas? I see you, Thomas. Yeah, shout to Skip, bro. Shout to Skipper. This was one of the cooler throws, man. This one honestly wasn't anything crazier. I just thought it was one of the cooler plays. This little throw to Laporta underneath here. Yeah, this one was just fun. I don't even know why I put this one in here, to be honest with you. But I thought it was fun. And there was a couple of these. There's a couple of these little things. You know, we had some motion here pre-snap. Feels the pressure. They're going into man coverage. Linebacker races to flat. And he's throwing it while Walker's in the passing window. He's just playing the running back, so he's throwing it by his ear. They complete the pass. And then here's the thing with this play. So this was actually the play the Lions ran to seal the game. Right here, this was the same play that they ran. And they had the same front look. So going back to like adding on top of the decision making there to go for it on fourth down. Actually, this wasn't the exact same front look. But it worked. It worked the same because the Packers, the front look that they went into when it was 4th down and 1 and then we went for it is more so because we had the quarterback sneak that was successful. So they started to bunch inside and go, hey, we're going to take away B gap, A gap, B gap, A gap. So they tightened that front. And the Lions were almost a little bit easier for them to actually convert. They used a fast motion, and this was something that carried over from last time we played Green Bay. Like, our tight ends were really good blocking against the defensive backs of Green Bay. That carried over again in this one. Laporta, Zylstra, Tim Patrick. That's a good read there by Patrick to pick this one up. And then you have Monty running into the end zone. So they came back and they ran this play. Then this was maybe their most well-blocked play. I mean, you got a guy like Penei Sewell just sealing down the block, working up to the second level. And then when they stacked it inside, he just sealed it down and then kicked up to Quay Walker. So same exact play for the Lions offensively. A little bit of a different front for the Packers, but it actually makes you understand a little bit more of like, okay, this is why they did it again, why they felt comfortable doing it again, because the last time it worked to perfection. And then defensively, here's where they get called for the defensive pass interference, but this is where the Lions were playing so well in man coverage. Like I said, Green Bay, 5 of 13 straight man coverage, right? 5 of 13. That's fantastic as a defense. But you're seeing a huge reason I think that was the case in this one is because of their communication before the play. Like that was the big thing. The way they were bumping coverage, you know, the way they were switching things off in coverage right here, like outside, inside kind of deal. You know, you got Carlton Davis taking the outside release. You pass it off here with Amik. Watch that. Amik steps down on it. Then you have Brian Branch, who has inside safety help, so he can sit outside leverage. Now he gets called for the PI here. But they're covering these things up well. They're not letting guys just run free. They're making them work for kind of everything. And like I said, more often than not, that's what you want. Here's you get a little pressure inside from Za'Darius. Za'Darius had 3 pressures in this game. That's nice. We'll take that Za'Darius. I don't know if that one actually counted because of the DPI. I don't know if that one that probably didn't even count on the stat sheet, to be honest with you. But three is solid. It wasn't great. 3 is solid. We can work with that. And we also got to see, you know, a little bit of Jamal Adams. Actually, Quan Alexander played more snaps in this game. Quan Alexander played more snaps in this game than David Long. Interesting, by 1 snap. Played a little bit more in this one. I thought that there was some good actually from Braddock Martin. There was some real bad too, but there was some good, allowing linebackers to get downhill, right? Handling his gap a little bit, kind of like this between the guards, not getting pushed back off the line of scrimmage, allowing guys to cleanly get up to the second level. Here, kind of forcing the cutback lane. Jack Campbell to me is adding so much to what he's doing as a run defender. The way that Jack Campbell's playing the run is in traffic, he's making a lot more plays. I think he's making a lot more plays than in the past when he gets in traffic. Like here, kind of slipping under that tight end that's trying to crash down and create that block, helping create the cutback lane, which was there because Braddock Martin's handling business. You also got Miles Adams doing some work here on the right tackle, maybe his best rep against Zach Tom. And then Muhammad was much better against the run. Like, Muhammad has not been a good run defender really to this point. But in this game, he was much better against the run, and he was more disciplined on the backside. And then this was, you know, kind of what Quan does well. This was one of the better examples from Quan because he was patient, right? He read it, he filled, then he split back out of it once Muhammad went over top, so then he settles down, makes a tackle, and you also got your taste of Jamal Adams there working the edge. He didn't play a lot, but Jamal was actually taking snaps from Amik Robertson. Amik played 17 snaps in this game, which is less than his normal, like 30 a game. Some of that's how much the other team passes. Love only threw it 20 times, so it makes sense that it was lower. But we did get to see a little bit of Jamal Adams, and you know, this was one of the most exciting plays like this. I love when they use him as a blitzer. He's going to be fun. I love the idea of just getting this guy downhill, letting him just disrupt. That's fun. Bills gave up 44. I know. Well, in fairness, they had a block punt, but no, they are getting cooked. Stafford's been balling. Josh Allen's been balling too, to be fair. Josh Allen's been on one too. And then right here, Quan Alexander. This one was cool too because I feel like Quan kind of had a sense of this, like before the snap. I don't know if I had the second angle of this, but when you see the check at the line of scrimmage from Jordan Love, like you see the motion across, and then you're like, all right, it's man coverage. You can see the cornerback stacked up here, and then Love checks at the line of scrimmage, and right here when they throw this little screen quick pass on the outside, you're gonna watch Quan Alexander right before the snap kind of cheat over there, like he's kind of expecting that's where the ball's going to go. He saw the communication between quarterback and receiver, and then immediately, like he's on top of this. It's forced back inside by Terrion Well, and then he's on top of it with Muhammad. I liked this play because to me, this one was like, okay, Quan has a little bit like some instincts that you're seeing here. Like this is an easy example to point out the instincts of Quan Alexander to kind of feel that that was coming, jump on it, help us shut that thing down. To be honest, I was surprised Jamal even got 5 snaps. Like I told y'all, I didn't think he'd even play this soon. And to your point, Antonio, shout out to Antonio. I thought Meek Robertson played really well again. Like it's hard for me to think like we should be taking that guy off the field. But I will say I think Jamal, there's a strong case to say that he has more upside as a run defender than Jamal Adams. I think than Jamal does than Meek Robertson. I think he can give us more as a straight run defender and also as a blitzer probably as well there. I don't know how many packages are going to be able to get him in that spot, to be honest with you. Like, that's going to be interesting. I think you get to games where teams are throwing it like 40 times. Maybe you see him a little bit more versus 20. But it's kind of a weird balance because it's also when Trevor's not out there either. They're kind of a little bit lighter offensively. So it's weird to have to take one of those guys off the field because I don't want to take either of them. But I guess that just means that we're in a good spot as a team. Obviously, Pat O'Connor was doing work. Hey, the world found out who Pat O'Connor was, man. That dude was getting off the ball like crazy in this one. He's just getting off the ball in this one, man. He's going to work here. Forced the quarterback out of the pocket again, back to man coverage. And the man coverage was good for the most part. Like I said, there was a couple of DPIs. There was an OPI. They had a pick play, and the man coverage was good. I mean, Carlton was targeted, I think it was like 8 times, 5 receptions he gave up. A couple of those were heavily contested. So I was like, I'll live with that. I'm fine with that as long as he's making them work for it. He wasn't getting like cooked. And then one of the big receptions, he did get cooked on one of them, to be fair. But one of them, he kind of like slow played it. I'll show it. But man, this game may be even more optimistic because now we're talking about on the turf. You're talking about a game where there was plays where we just didn't have like any pressure, but the coverage just handled business. This game made me feel even better about what we got, especially now because we're kind of back and healthy. Hopefully with Branch. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. Hopefully Branch is good. That's kind of the big one there with Branch. And then we have Jahmyr Gibbs kind of on this counter run. I think this is where Skipper loses his block inside. Yeah, and this is one where if this one's blocked up well, this one probably hits for a pretty big run. To be honest with you. I mean, you can kind of see how this one's going to go down. Skipper's going to seal it on the edge. And if they block this up well, this thing doesn't get blown up. This has an opportunity. I thought we left a little bit out there with our running backs too. I thought we left a little bit on the table as well. Like they could have gave us a little bit more running the football than I think that I don't think this was their best game necessarily. But you can see he gets beat inside here because Sewell could potentially come up here, seal off Quay Walker. And there was also examples of this where I didn't think we even blocked the right person, maybe. But, Gibbs created something out of nothing here, ran over a guy, bam. Picked up a few yards. But you heard Branch had a cramp. Okay, that's fantastic. I'm glad that's all it was. Okay, I didn't know that. That's a good look. I'm glad that's all it was. That thing had me nervous. And then here was the first third down stop. They were using 13 tight ends. Lions continue to use heavy personnel against this team. 13 tight ends here. 13 tight ends. Holy. No, not 13. 3 tight ends. This is the 3rd and 5 stop. They lost 3 yards on this one. And this one would have been a big run. And I think that this kind of angle showcases that. And you can see they overload a little bit heavy their gaps for their linebackers. I mean, you're kind of both in the A gap here. They overload heavy towards the strong side with multiple tight ends on the field like this. And the Lions, I thought, tried to take advantage of that a little bit. So this time they go to the weak side run. And right here with Frank Ragnow, like Frank tries to seal over top. If Frank just maintains and sustains the block here, this is a huge run. This should be a huge run. With the safeties bailing out on a 3rd down and 5, like this has big run written all over it. Doesn't happen. Right here, it's such a blown block that he blows it up in the backfield. But you got Graham Glasgow setting up field. You got Skipper setting the edge, hinging down. Like this thing has huge run written all over it. So, again, I like the play call. We just missed one block, and that's why that was what it was. I think this was a Lee McNeil play. Make sure I'm getting the right things in here. This is also on Agude, too. Agude played some D-end in this one, man. I didn't know how they were going to use Agude, but yeah, they were playing him at D-end a little bit. They gave up 7 yards here. Oh, actually, that was Muhammad on the stop. Hold up, I got the wrong play. Yeah, this was weird. See, this is the weird thing. This is why I think that the linebacker position is a little bit up in the air a little bit, like where I don't know who's going to be the guy going forward until Alex comes back. I think David Long, he definitely was more reliable in coverage. Quan got beat behind him one time, and I don't think he was bad against the run, but I think that Quan's patience against the run is better. So it's like a weird balance of who to actually play. Neither of them are like, to me, shut down coverage pieces, but there's inconsistencies there for sure. And like here, Aleem McNeil jumps into the A gap. He doesn't stay in the B gap. So when he jumps into the A gap, and David Long also scrapes across the formation here, and you can see this is like the trickery that Green Bay set up. This was an immediate bounce for them offensively that led to a successful run. I didn't think our run defense was that terrible. Sometimes I just didn't think we filled properly against the run. And like this would have been one of those, right? You got the lead Brooks on the play, who David Long seemingly just follows Brooks leading on the play here. And then right here for Wilson, he could follow this. Aleem jumps in the A gap, but if he jumps in the A gap, David Long then also can't scrape across and follow the lead back here in Chris Brooks. He does that, and there's just no one there. It's an easy read for the running back. So sometimes I just didn't think we filled correctly. It wasn't even about not being able to get off blocks. We just didn't fill right because we were also able to get off blocks. Like here, Pat O'Connor, you can see our boy Broderick doing a good job there, kind of allowing our linebackers to get downhill. There was some good from Broderick. There was some good with these zone runs because he would kind of settle himself down into the gap and he wasn't going to be moved. So you see Quan's able to kind of slow play it. Then Pat, I think I like him a little bit wider. I think I like him a little bit wider. And then Quan kind of just slide in there, make the play, short run. I don't know what this was. I'm going to be honest with you. This was disappointing. I think Quan was blitzing here, and that blitz was absolutely horrible. I'm going to be completely honest. This was a disaster of a blitz. I don't even know why I put this on here. Was it just to showcase how bad this blitz was? Let me see. Maybe that's why I threw this in here. I was so disappointed when I saw this play. Yeah, no, that's why I put it on here. Yep. I don't know what this was, man. I don't know what this was. Is Aleem going to play Sunday? I think I heard the commentator say he was out Thursday for a head injury. Yeah, he was out. He went out for the game. I don't know if he's going to be available or not. I mean, I think with the long week, we'll probably find out. We'll have an idea Wednesday, I guess, when we get the first report. But I actually have no idea if Aleem's going to play. Hope he plays. I mean, Aleem's really good. Aleem was really good in this game too, man. Outside of the couple plays where they'd be like, all right, who's filling where? Aleem was still really good in this game. And there's certain plays where he just takes over. So I hope so. We could use him. We could use him. Well, at very least, hopefully Reader's coming back then if he's not. And then Pat O'Connor might get more looks. You know what I'm saying? Pat O'Connor, he might be. He's finding himself a little bit of a role. We see you, Pat O'Connor. He's figuring it out a little bit. So maybe that's. I don't know. We need Aleem though. Aleem's a dog. Yeah, you can see the coverage, man. The coverage is on point. I think right here it was actually Aleem. Was this Aleem getting pressure too? Yep. Yeah, Aleem's a dog, man. I see. This is weird. This was weird timing too. I wasn't even trying to show Aleem McNeil here, but he's doing his thing. But here's the big scramble. Now, this is one of those, again, where the linebacker play, I feel like there was another cover 4 that we gave a big play on. I don't know that even the linebackers played it perfectly, that it would have worked necessarily. But, here was one of those examples where Love takes off, and you could see it, right here out of the backfield. So, right here, with the linebackers and underneath coverage, Ezekiel Turner plays the back, doesn't pass it off, and now all of a sudden the quarterback takes off. Right, so this is to me, this was one of their, I think this was one of their 3 match looks defensively. Yeah, this was one of their cover 3 match looks. They scramble for 14 yards, and it gets matched up here because Terrion's the outside corner. Then when they get this motion, Brian Branch just decides to match it vertically because they're going to match it anyway. And this is what the Lions were using last time they played Green Bay. So they've done this before for these vertical shots. So 2nd and 12, I guess they're trying to protect against the vertical shot. They're like, all right, let's go with some match coverage here. So that's what they do. They played the number 2 right here. You can see Amik feels it. Now he's got to get out. Now he's got to help matchups here. So everybody's matching vertically until they can pass it off to that middle field free safety. You got to match here too. Well, once you match, it's essentially man coverage, essentially. So now all of a sudden you have less bodies. And when the back takes off, I can't have Ezekiel Turner follow this entire route and not pass it off. And that's what he does. He follows the back out, and it leaves Jordan Love like a huge lane to run. So that's just like one of them little things. But we had a couple of things like that happen between the linebackers in this game where we just had plays created, and that's where we are missing a little bit. But what we're not missing is the back end, man. The back end in these spots, like the way that they're passing off routes and man coverage, the way that they're switching things off between each other, like right here. I mean, look at this. They're switching it off between each other right here, between Carlton and Kirby. And then he tries to break back outside, and Carlton's right there for it. This one actually was the interception, but it was called a DPI, whatever you want to do with that. You can see they're switching man here, so not getting out leveraged. You're right here. It's beautiful. This is where the Lions have been money, is right here in coverage. They had a lot of these cover one looks. And here's the weird thing, too, is that the guy that was actually open was right here, Jack Campbell, on Tucker Kraft. They ran this dig in the back of the end zone. That's who actually opened up here, but it was Muhammad who came through, spilled him out of the pocket a little bit. You can see he's not looking there with the football because they cover it up pretty well here. They switch it off really well, and you can see the initial route wasn't there. So this play just got extended because here would have been the guy to throw to, and he just kind of forced this into the back of the end zone. I still don't understand how this is defensive pass interference. Like, I don't know how that's defensive pass interference, but it was. Whatever. There's still a lot of good from that, but I don't know what that was, to be honest. And then we're back to these window shots offensively. Let me go. Yeah, okay. Let me go back to this. So this was a 2nd and 2. The Lions actually started off this drive with a good run. They started off with an 8-yard run, which, they weren't doing a ton in this game. They actually ran the ball pretty well. And this is where, I feel like all that movement that the Lions have within their pass game is the problem that they're creating for teams. Like, you could see it here with you get the jet motion first, and then you have the split zone block. And you can just see what it does to the underneath coverage. Like, the way that it pulls the underneath coverage, and then it opens up the passing window for Jared Goff. Like, we've done a fantastic job there by having these little wrinkles, whether that's like the short motion before the snap or even things after the snap, like this movement. The way we're able to shift linebackers' eyes and where they're looking to get guys open like we did here. The play action was super effective in this game. It was super effective. It's probably the most effective I've seen all season. And you're going to see it's really the backside of Walker because what are they in here? They're in a cover 3 look. Okay, this is what they typically run. And it was weird, too. It was weird because on first down, they were playing too deep. And I think they were saying, we don't want to give the first down play action shots. So on first down, Rams did win. 44-42 is ridiculous. What the heck? So on first down, they're playing this too deep. They don't want to give up those. Second down, they're rolling more into single high coverage. And, that's where we want to try to high-low the safety. They seemingly just want to stay out of that for the most part because, as as soon as they did that, they gave up a big chunk. So they were trying to stay out of that. And I think there maybe was something to do with how aggressive their linebackers were actually playing up and not getting depth. Like you would typically see, they weren't getting much depth. And here with the split zone, you could see Walker's eyes. It kind of pulls him back on the play. And now he's looking over here. Goff's going the back spot. So as long as McDuffie doesn't have enough depth, the window's going to be created because your backside hook curl zone player, usually this is their guy that would find that route. So it's also the respect to the run after running for 8 yards on first down. That's a big part of it as well, but they were trying to stay out of single high coverage on first down. They did not want to get chunked, and the Lions are willing to play different games. I think that's what's making them so effective is they're willing to play different games offensively. They're willing to take everything that you give you defensively. They're not going to force it downfield if they don't have to. And I think certain teams get in trouble when they have to play efficient football all game long because eventually they're going to start making mistakes, and then it's just we couldn't play that game. Or they'll start getting penalized. They put themselves in the holes. We found a way to respond from drops and flags, but at the same time, we also just did really well taking what they give us. Now, this is a weird one because here was another check at the line, and again, we're getting a lot more man coverage on third down, but honestly, this one was, if I have this one correct here, this wasn't even a third down. Yeah, this was a 2nd down and 5. So again, 2nd down, they're playing a lot of single high coverage. So 2nd down and 5, and they go man coverage. Goff has a singled up receiver with J-Mo. That's who he's going to try to run this kind of back shoulder. Now, at this part of the route, I could see why maybe Jameson thinking he's still going to get over top, but I can also see why Goff is yeah, he's on top of you because he is right now. Let me go back shoulder. Jameson just takes off like he's trying to go for the home run. Goff throws a back shoulder. That one's incomplete, so that's still not fantastic. That's something they're going to, want to clean up, I'm sure. And then, the throws that we were making in these spots, man, here, 3rd down and 5. Lions do 13 personnel again. So they get all these backers onto the field. Defensively, they don't want to match that man coverage. So all right, we'll go to zone coverage. So they go to Tampa 2 coverage here. And then, again, the pocket was really good for the most part. This time, Goff moves out of it, drifts out of it, keeps his eyes downfield, finds David Montgomery. That was a clutch play. The only guy that would have been open here, and look, they did a pretty good job, I think, of breaking some tendencies against us a little bit. Like, I think they definitely changed up what they normally do all the time. But for the most part, like, we did a nice job of, like, if the design wasn't there, we still had something out of it that we were creating. You know what I'm saying? Like, here you take away the middle field player. This would have been the guy to get open on a play like this, right? Because you're kind of high-lowing this backside safety, which is why, to me, Jameson's the only receiver on the field, because he has the speed that could actually put that pressure on a safety where it's like, hey, if he drives and he gets out here, you can just bomb that for Goff the other way. You can just throw it to that back pylon. But at the same time, we're also trusting our tight end separate here at Shane Zylster. But this was just like confidence out of it. It wasn't there. Moved out of the protection. Find Montgomery. We had so many plays like that in this game. Now, this was the one interception. Some iffy coaching at the end of the Rams-Bills game. Oh, iffy coaching. Bills blew a timeout. Rams could have used a timeout instead of taking the delay. That game was Dan Campbell's coach of the year game. All right. That game solidified Dan Campbell's that dude. That's what you're trying to tell me. I got you. Watching the Bills game, we could definitely run on this. That's the immediate takeaway I had too. Like, I haven't paid that much attention to the Bills. I like their D-line. I don't know that they have like run stoppers by name. You know what I'm saying? Like, especially on the interior. But like early, I was like, oh, Rams are kind of running the ball a little bit. I mean, that's been the Rams like game of the last couple of years. They tried to open that up, but yeah, they run the ball a little bit too. I noticed that too. Okay, what play is this? So I got like a sheet of every one, so I don't know which. Oh, this was the interception. Okay. Hang with me. Let me get to the right spot here. All right. This was the interception, and, so this is a 2nd and 14. They got us backed up. They go Tampa 2, and on this drive, they actually had ran Tampa 2 the play before. This was just a bad assumption. I don't want to say it's a bad assumption because I think on paper this should be open, but Nixon is a real person. He's not a robot, so he recognized it and he jumped under it, kind of like what Quan did on the screen. He did that here as well, kind of just recognized it, jumped under it. So they're bailing out, and this is, I don't want to say it's the issue, but I think it's one thing to kind of keep an eye on is the Lions' attack for these Tampa 2 looks was kind of the same setup over and over. It was like curl flat, but it was usually towards the boundary. And that'll be something to keep an eye on because obviously they can pull the middle field linebacker with that number 3 receiver up the seam here to create some openings. But over here, like you're running the curl flat, you expect that Nixon's going to play the swing on the play. He doesn't. He kind of just sits down and just stays there. So Goff's looking at McDuffie, trying to hold him so he can come back and throw this pass. That's why he gets undercut and picked off. So bad interception, kind of just a bad assumption more so than anything. I think, if you said that's the look that you're going to get, like, yeah, that's probably a fine read, but it is what it is. Nixon made a good play. It was a response to it that was everything. But to be honest, like, I think this speaks more to how our defense actually played because we put them in some bad spots that led to their scores. Like this was one. Like this was one where I don't know. Broderick had some really good reps. This was one of the worst ones, to be obvious. I mean, honest with you, like this was this is not great. But and then also Branch kind of just like went in there like this. I don't know what he was doing either. Let me get to the right play here. So this was their stretch run. They scored the touchdown on this. Broderick was late. Actually, this was the play that he was just late to get to his spot. That's where they went up tempo on us. So yeah, I mean, like they had a couple of those. Watching it back, like to a point, I was like, man, we probably could have made them work the field a little bit more. Like I feel like our defense could have been okay, but it was also probably part of that. Like, hey, we don't want to give them more reps because the more and more. I don't even think it's just about D-line. I think a lot of it was about linebacker too, because a lot of their big plays came through the linebacker mistakes, where it was like the more times we put them on the field, that's not good. We'd rather have them on the field less with how much these guys are actually already playing for us. So here we were just late on the play. Muhammad misses. Muhammad had a tackle here. He missed it right here on the backside. Like right here, dude. You got to make that tackle. Jack Campbell ends up shooting the gap, and then Broderick Martin doesn't win his gap at all. Like this is the thing, though. This is where Jack Campbell, I think, is adding to his game, and I think this is a huge reason why his run stop rate's so high. But this is what he's adding, and I don't know what Branch was doing there, but that's hard. I mean, that's Josh Jacobs. But that's what he's adding. He's making a lot more plays, getting downhill and being in traffic. He's opened a lot more of that of his game. Keep an eye on that as we keep going forward, man. I think that's a huge reason why he's adding so many tackles, and that's like a big area he's taking a step this season. And then back on the offense side of the ball, I mean, look at the pass protection. What are we talking about, man? Tampa 2 again. This time it's 2nd and 5. So on first down, they went Tampa 2. Lions swinged it out, picked up 5 yards. 2nd and 5, they go Tampa 2 again. And, Goff's able to wait, get back to the middle field read, the third one here. But look at the pass protection. Like, that's what I wanted to point out. I mean, the pocket's not even getting moved here. So he's able to go over the middle, hit Tim Patrick. But that's what was so impressive with this one. Like, I think they did a good job putting themselves into situations to minimize that pressure. And again, they're not blitzing much, but they did a really nice job, man. Dan Skipper handled business. Like, we got to give Dan Skipper some credit, man. We got to give that dude some love. I know he's throwing up, but that's because he was out there handling business. You know what I mean? He was a little bit tired, but that's good. He did work. And then here was the drop for Laporta. So 2nd and 8. They go to cover 1 here. This was actually one of their man coverage looks. And they end up blitzing it here, and this is where Sam Laporta drops it. But Sam Laporta definitely made up for this. He made some ridiculous grabs after this. And he was separating, man. You know, Laporta's always going to separate. But to be able to trust him to be the guy, like, hey, you're the route, that's pretty awesome. I don't think there's a lot of teams. I mean, Brock Bowers can do that, but there's not a lot of teams that, like, feel good about being able to do that. And this was a perfect example of it. It's fantastic. We will handle the Bills going defeat the rest of the season. Yeah, I hope so, man. I mean, look, I believe it. I believe it's possible. We're going to be stressed a lot because they're going to put up points, especially coming off their loss. I don't think that actually bodes well for us. It's probably worse for us coming off a loss that now we have to play them. But to be honest, like, that game doesn't mean as much as this Packer one did for the NFC North record, right? So, hey, I'm glad it happened. I'll tell you what, though, Philly, shaky. Hey, either Carolina is, like, legit now, or I don't know what Philly was doing. Carolina's back, though, chat. Carolina is back. All right? We got to, like, make it official. Carolina's competing with everybody. They're pushing everybody. I'm glad we don't play Carolina, if I'm being honest with you. Hold up. Carolina's becoming a problem, dog. But nah, Laporta separated. That's great. Hey, Carolina. But you can see what their game plan was. Anytime they got single high, they were just high-low in their safety. Post with J-Mo, dig with Laporta or Saint. We saw that later. Like, it's awesome to be able to do that. You get that big body target where Laporta's almost kind of like a in-between kind of piece. Like, usually, like, all right, who's that big body receiver? This would be like Tim Patrick, and he does deliver there. But you could do it with Sam Laporta too, man. You know what I mean? He could do the exact same thing. He just needs to catch the ball. He dropped that one. But he responded. Bryce Young for MVP? All right, hold up. I don't know about all that. But, hey, Bryce Young might be the guy. You know what I mean? Bryce Young might be the guy, though. They might not move off him, and that's good. I also love this, too, because Green Bay would get, like, really creative. They go to, like, these zero coverage looks. Like, here's the 3rd and 8. So they show coverage 0. And the Lions pick up 7 yards here. But they did the same kind of thing, I feel like, against Minnesota, where they don't overthink it. Like, you're coming in, you're like, oh, man, okay, well, they're showing 0, and then they go to this and that. It's like, all right, what do we do? The Lions are just not overthinking it at all. They're just like, all right, we're going to throw a screen. And then they get 7 yards. Now, I think a big part of this, too, is the way that they're using these 4x1 setups pre-snap. Because when you go out 4x1 and you put, because now what you're doing is you're putting these safeties in a spot where they kind of, to me, unless they, again, shift what they're doing, is they can kind of give you the tell, like, hey, here's how we're playing this. Because, like, here, if you get both safeties chilling on both sides, right, you can get a little bit more of a coverage tell because you're coming out in a quads look. So now as it flips back over and St. Brown moves, now you're seeing the safety bump back over there. So you can get a little bit more of, I think, of like okay, this is probably what they're going to defensively. But anyways, the Lions were simplifying the heck out of it. The screen tunnel. J-Mo, I don't know what he's doing. Like, hey, J-Mo, look, touchdown, dog. You know what I mean? Bro, go outside. Go outside. No, he keeps going inside. I mean, I'm not mad at him. Like, I get it. It's a tunnel. You're like, hey, keep working back inside. This guy worked way too far inside. He'll probably see that and be a little upset with himself. And then this is where Ben's different, though. Like, this is where Ben's different, bro. We got to point these things out. I may do a video on this on its own. Because I'm watching this. Like, we're all watching this. We see this touchdown to Patrick, right? So they run the curl, but it's kind of like a stick route. It's like back outside, and they run. Plays cover 3 in these spots. We were watching live. It's like Green Bay's good. They play cover 3 here, so that's what they did. But it's this. When you come out of the huddle and you're going up to the line fast like they're doing, but you come out with St. Brown at running back, watch what it does to their communication defensively. They're lost. Because I feel like as a linebacker, right, you're coming out, you're like, all right, where's their back, that kind of thing. We break the huddle, and right away, you have Gibbs going to receiver, and you got St. Brown sitting in at running back. So now watch the linebacker play here. So the linebacker jumps out here. Watch him. He jumps out here, and they're like, hey, yo, St. Brown's over there, dude. So now they're like, oh, snap, Saint's over there. So now he's running over because he's like, I got to get to the flat. And then all of a sudden, again, and I think a lot of this is just simply like the quick snap. You get out there quick, you don't let them kind of settle in, but they're kind of adjusted now because you got this like weird personnel look. It's like, why is Saint at running back? That's not right. And then all of a sudden, you get kind of what they again typically do in these spots. You run them to the flat, and then I love Laporta's. I love Patrick's route because Patrick breaks it back outside, where it's like, hold up, because if he breaks this inside, now immediately, he could step down and he could kind of just like ram into the linebacker, and they could kind of maybe cover that a little bit. But with him breaking back outside, now it's like, all right, I'm going to jump to the outside too. So now all of a sudden he's playing the flat. He jumps to the outside. Patrick just settles down in that stick route. He turns around. He's got a touchdown. Like the little route detail, but also the little adjustment of like, let's put Saint at running back. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. They do those little things all the time. This says touchdown. Hold up. That's not the right play. I'm just going to let this one play. I don't know. Oh, okay. Wait, was this Jamal Adams? Bills are getting whooped next week. All right, hey, calm down. Hey, yo, you know what I mean? Hey, hold up. Let's, I look where y'all at, man. Y'all are believing. The defensive line did well in this play. Like, they had some good reps, man. I didn't know how many good reps they actually had. Like here, Miles Adams absolutely handling this. Which play was this? This is the counter pull. Okay, look at this. Miles Adams handling this down block from the right tackle. Look at this, man. Lock him out, work back over top of the gap. Stop it, man. He handled that thing. And then how about Broderick Martin here? Right? They're trying to down block here with the guard. This is something that he had a problem with. You know what I'm saying? Like, he had a problem with this in the preseason. And all of a sudden, I'm seeing here, he takes it on. He's got a kind of a wide base. It's not pretty. You know what I mean? But he does shed the block. So you got Miles Adams handling business. And then you got DJ Reader handling some business. You limit this run. They ended up picking up 1 yard on that play. So there was some good in there. All right, let's go back to the offense here. I think. Yeah, we're going back to the offense here. Oh, this was not the bad. This was actually the third down play, I think. Yeah, this is third down. Really, there's not a ton for this play. I just think that Goff's comfortability right now is great. I mean, a Tampa 2 look as well. And look, here's the good thing about this is the first time that they did this, they went to like an inverted Tampa 2 on third down, which they're known to do. And I didn't think we had a great answer for it. And that was the play that Goff got sacked on. I remember that, like, very beginning of the game. And I remember people like, yo, hey, Goff got to get the ball. But it was like, there really wasn't an answer until he got to number 3, which would have been like the whip route. But he didn't have enough time to wait for that because it wasn't developed yet. So it was there, but it would have taken a minute. But I think we came up with better answers. And Goff with his eyes right now, like, this is the kind of throw in the pass. Like, I've seen him make the wrong decision here, where he's throwing it to the guy that's covered, like, for whatever reason, he just kind of forces it there. Here, I don't even think he's looking at the drag, and he's throwing it to Tim Patrick. So he's in a spot right now where he's feeling very comfy within this offense. Obviously, he's decisive, and that's where you get, you'll get interceptions because of that. He's trying to throw it, Nixon jumps it. Like, it is what it is. I'd rather you be ripping the football than holding on to it, not sure of yourself, taking sacks left and right. He's getting the ball fast. Fastest time to throw of the year. And I think that, like, plays like this are great because I've seen him make the wrong decision in these spots. But this is not one of those. This is an inverted Tampa 2 look. So you got all this movement. You got a safety rolling down at the snap right here. He's going out there to the, the deep half. Like, so this is a lot of movement happening. And for him to come back to his number 2, see the middle field defender, and then rip it over here to Tim Patrick. Now, the ball wasn't great because he kind of looked it off. So it was like down and away, and it was a little bit short. It was a yard short, which is why they went for it. And then this is why we didn't get it, because we just didn't block correctly. Like, if we block correctly, this is a first down. You know what I mean? Fast motion here. We just didn't block correctly. And if I remember this one right, yeah, there was actually just no block, to be honest with you. I think this was Brock right here. Nixon did a good job. I think they actually played this pretty well, too. Like, Nixon kind of sets the edge here at corner. If you see Nixon, he kind of drives down right here. Because, they're trying to string this thing outside as an offense. So Nixon does a nice job. He kind of settles down outside here. And with Tim Patrick's block and with St. Brown, he could kind of press towards that and then pivot himself back inside. But Brock Wright also running out there and also kind of stringing this play out is, I think, why this kind of happens like it does. You got McKinney working over. You got 2 guys. And on a play like this where it's like, hey, someone's got to find the inside guy. And no one finds the inside guy. And I think with Nixon on the play, it's almost like Brock was trying to get to Nixon, but the defense didn't string out. The defense kind of said, we're getting upfield. They just jumped upfield. So once they jumped upfield, we were late to respond to that. And that's when this kind of became the disaster it did. It could have been there. I think the Packers played it well, but it could have been there, if we were just a little bit ready to pick that up. And then we had this play, which I think Quan just straight up missed a tackle here, if I'm right. Yeah, I think this is just Quan missing the tackle. I'm going to let it run. I don't even know what this play was. Oh, I mean, this is Broderick again. See, this is what Broderick does well. This is what Broderick can do well, is he can allow guys to get downhill. He could do that well, as the nose tackle. Like, he was doing that well. He was getting hands on the center. He was handling the block. He was stopping any movement. He wasn't allowing these offensive linemen cleanly to get upfield because he was going to maintain that gap. So he wasn't allowing basically the center to pass it off to the guard, right? He wasn't allowing the guard to reach block here. Like, he's trying to give it off to the right guard so that he can step up to the linebacker. Broderick Martin is not allowing that to happen. So now this linebacker can continue to press, and kind of slow play it up until he wants to crash and go make the play. Like, he's got to play the cutback, and then he's able to fill. Now here, he just missed. I think he just missed a tackle here, and they end up picking up more than they should there. But this is a good rep from Broderick. And then, Miles Adam on the backside, not bad. Who's another guy that I thought did pretty well in this game? Trevor Nowaski. He had 2 pressures. This is maybe, look, he did nothing against the Bears' pressure rate. And he's still not like a blitzer, or I don't want to say he's not a blitzer, but he's not a pressure piece. But he did get 2 pressures, which were more so just effort than anything. But he did get 2 pressures in this game. And, he had some, that was physical against the run kind of plays. Trevor Nowaski did solid. He's looking more and more comfortable the more snaps that he's getting in that role now that we no longer have Derek Barnes or Malcolm Rodriguez, and he's got to take on more of that Sam role for us. I think he's looking pretty comfy in that spot. And then they end up picking up this chunk, which was... This is when we went to cover 3, and they went right behind Quan. So, yeah, this was a 2nd down and 7. They ended up picking up 21 yards on this. This is the cover 3 blitz here, and you could just see, the play action just had us bit so far upfield here. And you're also losing an underneath defender when you blitz out of this, and I only got 3 of those dudes. But you could see with the play action, and just not great. We just allowed it to get behind us, and this is the chunk. And this is probably the reason they didn't want to have these guys on the field a ton. It was like, we probably should end this on offense because something like this could happen. This is just like, hey, this has to be better, with the play fake here. This can't happen. Can't happen. It's just an easy clear out. But I didn't think the defense was bad. I just think that that's not great. All of our backups have this swagger to them. I'm not used to as Lions fan. Now, I feel that, though. And I think it's so cool, how many guys are stepping in immediately. And it's like they're legitimate parts. They're not, coming in as hey, in 4 weeks. They stepped in immediately, man. And they feel like, to your point, they come in with the right energy immediately. They have the right energy for it. They feel like they're truly a part of the team immediately. There's no question. There's some breakdowns, that's for sure, but there's no question they're immediately involved the way that they should be, which is great. This was the big play to Tim Patrick. I'm not even sure if I'm on the right page here, if I'm being completely honest. I'm looking at these plays. I think I'm on the right play here. I'm just going to let these roll. I think I'm on the wrong page. Hold up. Hey, hold up. I got to go back a little bit. I don't think I'm on the right page. Oh, no, I am. Okay. All right, well, I guess I am on the right page. It's whatever. Tim Patrick getting open. Love to see that. Play action was so effective against this team, dude. I mean, look at this. Look at their linebackers, man. 2 deep safeties again. See, this is what they kept doing. They kept going 2 deep, and I think this time they were in a quarters look. They were in cover 4, and this is what they were doing. They were going 2 deep safeties on first down. Now, I guess there was a variation. I was like, let's not go Tampa 2. Let's try cover 4 one time. And, the pass protection wasn't great here, but Goff moves out of it. The play action has literally nobody over top. We're kind of creating the levels out of it, and it's a nice little route detail here with Tim Patrick. And because, look, Jamison against cover 4 he's a threat. He just runs through his route so fast. He's pushing everybody back. This guy's got to get back. He presses up the outside corner too, and then he just settled down underneath it. Goff's delivering. You know what I'm saying? He's throwing it faster. He wasn't holding on to the ball trying to do too much, but he was delivering these. I mean, bam, we ripping these throws. And then on some of these runs, man, we just weren't blocking that well too. Some of it was we weren't blocking incredibly well. And some of it's the Packers did a good job. Here, McDuffie shot upfield into the backside A-gap. So the cutback lane is kind of not there for Monty. So it felt like a couple times we just weren't on a string. And then because that Graham Glasgow kind of gives up the B gap a little bit here, so then he tries to cut back, but McDuffie's kind of in the way. So he's like, all right, I guess I got to press the B gap. And then he picks up a short gain on the play. The cutback lane's tied along with where we were trying to get to. They weren't on a string that often like they typically would, where here, you have the center Frank Ragnow can kind of press up on Clark, push him out of the play, then get up to the second level, kind of walled off. No, he shoots the backside A-gap. So now all of a sudden, Frank Ragnow's turned around. He's like, all right, I don't really have much of a lane for you here. And then he kind of just presses him into the front side A-gap, and then Kenny Clark just holds his ground, so he's forced to run into Kenny Clark. It was a good play. The linebackers were playing incredibly fast against the run, but this kind of play is exactly why I think the play action was so effective. Because look how their linebackers are playing this, man. Like, they're jumping gaps. So even though you got two deep safeties, like, I think usually the idea is two deep safeties, obviously they're just going to give you the run. And I think in a lot of ways, Green Bay was like, let them run the football. We're not giving up chunks left and right in the pass game. Let them run the football. So we're going two deep safeties. But it was also like the linebackers are going to be freakishly aggressive. So they had like a little bit of an in-between issue. And the Lions were perfectly fine with going at that. And it worked out really well. But this grab was ridiculous. I remember seeing this. This is an insane grab by Laporta here, man. This catch is insane. Hold up. Let me figure out exactly what this catch was insane. That catch was crazy. Let me get to the exact one that this one was. I think I missed something here. It's like I missed a whole page. We gonna have to score 40 to beat Buffalo? Yeah. I hope you're wrong too. 40 would be a I hope we don't have to score 40 to beat him. I definitely hope you're wrong on that. All right. I don't know. I'm like missing a page or something. I don't know what's going on. Anyways, we'll just keep it rolling. I don't know what's going on here. But this was a beautiful route. And right here, looks like we have them kind of in their quarters look again with the motion. The Lions are doing a great job, I think, of just overloading their zone coverage. Like this, like having Jameson motion across pre-snap, right? And the linebackers are going to shift that fast motion. Now, all of a sudden, you kind of pass it off to Jameson. So now the linebacker picks it up with the safety over top. Now you're essentially getting a linebacker on Laporta, but then you also have Gibbs run out of the backfield. He's taking Quay Walker. So if you're in quarters, right, and you're balanced, but you're kind of unbalanced because you only got three underneath guys defensively, and you have all five receivers as the threat, now it's like, and actually this wasn't quarters. Was it? I think this was actually a Palms coverage, actually, if I remember right. I think that's what this was. That's why these two are playing this kind of goofy. But the point is, like, they did a nice job of using all of their options offensively to kind of find these matchups. But that was the thing, bro. Laporta was just making these dudes. I mean, that play was insane. That catch was crazy. And then the creativity kind of was what found answers in the run game. Like this one right here, the fake toss with the jet attached to it, with the jet sweep attached to it, that pops for a first down run. This was the kind of thing. I mean, you're seeing how the linebackers are adjusting to like these heavy sets on one side, and you could just see it here. Like, watch their second level on this play. So the fake toss, obviously all eyes are going that way, right? And then you got Laporta, I think, was motioning here pre-snap. And then you hand it off, and you could see, man, they're taking forever to get back out there. They're completely bought into that's where the ball's going. You kick back outside of it, pick up 11 yards. And then they end up running this like outside zone toss. See, this is where I felt like we left things on the table a little bit, because this to me almost looked like a design counter play, and you could see it by the lead blocker. You see how like Shane Zylstra, it didn't feel like as much of like just a split zone as much as it felt like a counter. Like, we're gonna show it this way. We want your linebackers to fill, and then we're gonna kick back out Laporta to go hit whoever is standing in that gap. Well, you kind of ran this setup a little bit, and TJ Slayton's handling business. Frank didn't have a great game at center. I'll be honest. Frank was not great. But he kind of cuts back out of it right here. But he like presses into Kenny Clark, who's working on Zeitler. And look, Clark handles the double team mainly because when the double team connects right here, that combo, and then it gets switched off and reset by Sewell. That way Zeitler can get the second level player. Sewell loses the block right here. Watch it. He tries to reset. Clark goes down to a knee, gets back up, slips off him. Now he's walking right into Kenny Clark. So this is one of those plays where I feel like if he would have just followed, his lead throughout the play in Shane Zylstra, because I think Shane may have been expecting to shoot upfield here, but if he would have followed it out wide like Shane went, I think he would have had a chance to get in the end zone. But look, and their interior defensive line did some good things. Sometimes they blew it up by just being aggressive upfield. And then, play like this where we're trying to create a confusion. We're trying to create confusion to get Sam Laporta open. And you can see it, like, you have the motion. They're in goal line man. So you're hoping that with the motion, there's confusion because you're going to kind of delay here, and then you're going to work that corner route. You're hoping there's confusion, but there's not. They picked it up well. They covered this well. So to have a guy like Tim Patrick on the backside that can go be an inside leverage corner like this is, I mean, look at the corner. The cornerback standing inside leverage. He's not trying to give him that. Look at that. He walks up to him, slips in front of him, gets his hands, gets off him. He gets himself clean, and then breaks the top of the route. I mean, he absolutely cooked Eric Stokes. That shouldn't have been there, but you can't have him running an out route because obviously if Goff's looking for the corner, then he's just going to have to throw it away. You're only going to give yourself one target. So he's got to jump inside leverage here, which he does, and the Green Bay Packers pick it up. Then we get kind of the pressure from the inside when they blitz with, you can see Nixon, and we don't get the pickup here right on the inside with Dave Montgomery through the play fake. He doesn't pick it up. This is awesome to have a guy like Patrick that can do this. And Goff seemingly just trusted it. Like, yeah, he's going to be there. I mean, that could be like a last-second decision. Like, oh, he's not there. Let me just throw it high. But, man, Tim Patrick was going to work. And I know they don't have Jair, so you like that matchup more, but it definitely came to life, man, because we had guys just winning. And then this was one of the big plays they gave up. So, again, Love 5 of 13 a man. And this is one of those cover one looks where, like, it looks good. There's a lot that looks good here. But then all of a sudden, like right here, Carlton starts a slow play. Watch Carlton. He kind of like you see how he dials down? He dials down here, and then that's when Watson takes off again, and that's when he gets in a spot where he can't undercut it. It's also a really well-thrown ball, but you're bringing the simulated pressure. You drop out to Darius, you bring Jack, you get pressure because of that, and you just miss the sack. You got to make the sack 1. But 2, it's like Carlton. If Carlton doesn't start slow playing it right here with Christian because he doesn't have the same acceleration seemingly that Christian has to kind of burst and then back under that, that's where that goes wrong. But Muhammad's improving. Here he is on the backside, flat to the line of scrimmage. He missed this last time we played Green Bay, led to a big run. Here he's able to settle down. He made that play. And I remember watching it live, like, come on, man, make that play. Because I've seen you get beat on this. Like, don't have that happen again. Go make that play. And he made the play. That was awesome to see. I like what Muhammad's doing, man. Muhammad played a lot for us in this game, too. He played a lot for us. I think this is Jonah Williams here. On the front side of this play right here. But, man, like you got Quan sitting down in there, but that was Muhammad, man. I'll give that one to Muhammad. How about Tim Patrick over the middle passes? Should go to him and Laporta, I feel like. 100%. I mean, the good thing is everybody kind of wins there, right? Like, those are the big body guys, so it makes it easier. But, you know, St. Brown, you got to throw him the football. You got to get him working there. And then Jameson, super effective. It's all to me it's a coverage thing, right? What kind of coverage is the team playing? But every matchup is going to give you opportunities, and depending on how they're going to play it, Jameson can go win over the middle of the field, right? We've seen that. So, like, everybody has a way to win. It just depends on how the other team's trying to play it. And I thought, obviously this was a Tim Patrick Laporta game. Those guys went to work. We're able to count on those. And then this was a weird one, too, man, because, again, this was kind of the linebacker thing where I don't know if even if they play this perfectly, like, this is covered up well because it's kind of a well-done route. Like, it's almost like a dagger setup, but it's very delayed with this tight end getting pressed up here by Campbell. So you can see Branch is now trying to work back over top, and Kirby Joseph plays Christian Watson. They had already got beaten over top once instead of stepping down here on the dig route. So he helps back over top. But look at the linebacker play. Like, this is another one of those where, okay, you have the flat, and the running back comes out, a tight end pushes vertical, but there's no communication between these two. It's not like, here you go, here, David Long, you take him. He's kind of maybe showing that he's going inside, but then he just keeps running vertical. And once he does that, Long takes off to take away the flat, which I'm not mad at him being decisive, just go make something happen. But so does Jack. They both drop out, and now all of a sudden there's no middle field presence, and immediately Love could throw to the middle. That was one of those things where it was like, the linebacker play again. I mean, it's kind of the exact same thing. And then they go to this palms-looking coverage, which the Lions have executed incredibly well, is these cover 4 and palms looks. I mean, you can see the coverage is great here, but it's also the reason that this gets open. And this is where I think we get a little bit predictable. I think we can. We can get a little bit predictable sometimes in these spots because you can see in a palms look, right, if he breaks out and he's going vertical, Carlton Davis has to step down and take that away. Safety has to drop out and get over top. So in this case, when he starts to break outside, watch our cornerback. Carlton sits down on it. Now, Kirby, you're going to see him react late here, but he's got to drop out and help over top. Well, the problem with that is that they run their number 3 on a seam. So they take Jack out of the play on the seam route. So there's no middle field presence. Kind of a stick nod, I should say. So once they take him out of the play, and then also Kirby has to get back over top because he's showing an outbreaker, now it's not like he can give it to Kirby and dive out of the play. So they make them respect everything here. But it's a nice wrinkle because instead of running an out route, which we would have covered up, he runs a whip route. So now Jamal, if you watch Jamal in this play, he kind of like stops playing the route for, like right here, you think it's an out, you got to stop playing. So he stops playing that. He's going to help underneath. But then he sees there's no tight end. So he's like, all right, wait, hold up. I can go help this guy again. But then when he looks back, now the whip route's broke, Dontavian Wicks gets open, and that's where you get the big chunk. So again, like, that's just a smart wrinkle. They had some nice wrinkles for us in the red zone. I'll give it to LaFleur. He had some answers. LaFleur had some good things going. Made another run stop. How about Muhammad working over the tight end here? This inside, just a straight dive run. Hey, shout out to Muhammad, man. He's doing some work, man. You know what I mean? Miles Adams doing work, handling business. And then who was that at center? Oh, yeah, that's Broderick Martin handling the center. We see you. Yup, we see you. We see you, big dog. That little combo block ain't doing nothing. We see you, Broderick. There was some good in there. There was some good. Man, you can see it, though. We're covering the heck out of these, though. We really are. And then, and this is one of those, 3-by-1 looks where the linebacker is going to take the number 3 and give it to our safety, right? So these outside, they match up underneath route. He's passing it to the safety. Now, they don't get it open here because we play it well, right? So you kind of get this combination of coverage with the 2-man kind of look, but you're passing it off to the safeties. We pass this off, though. We covered up everything. I mean, look at this. Literally nobody's open. Right, and then late on the play, I like what Turner's doing. Nobody's open, and there's not really any pressure here. I mean, there's pressure late, but there's nothing within the play where there's really pressure here. It's late on the play, right there. It gets free, and then there's some pressure. But smartly by the Packers, they see that, and watch them come back and have an answer to this. They switch release these two, and watch this. He's going to push an outbreaker because he's going to get passed off because now he's the number 3 receiver. He's going to get past to the safety. So watch this. Bam, runs the outbreaker. Now he gets pulled out by the post, and this is wide open. Jordan Love, though, look where he's at. He can't throw the ball because Zadarius Smith steps over the right guard and spills him right here. Bam, spills him right there. He feels it. He gets out of there. This is wide open. There's a tight window potential throw here. I mean, because maybe we could have dropped off with vision here and tried to jump on this, but Love has a lot of arm talent. If he's not spilled, I think he could deliver this throw. You know what I mean? But with the switch release like that, and then he gets passed off onto this guy. Now Kirby's responsible for that over top. And then all of a sudden you get that post behind him. Then it breaks back outside. Now there's no outside threat because he's pulled out of play by the corner. Yeah, this was nice. This is well done. This is well done here. But I will say, man, that's where sometimes players just got to go do something. You know what I mean? Because then here, if you're in a palms look and he's the number 1 threat, my bad on that. There's no underneath out route. Everybody's going vertical. So now everybody gets challenged with tasks with kind of matching vertical until that happens, and then he gets open. So again, shout out to our guy there because that held them to a field goal rather than a touchdown, which ultimately we know that tied the game instead of winning it for him. All right, and then we wrap it up with this. And this is Ben Johnson just going to work. So all game long, he was great. The whole game plan coming in fantastic. But this is where he was like, all right, let's do what we do. Lines come out a full house look. Bam, bam. Tight end, running back, tight end. 1 receiver is Jameson. We've already seen this, right? It was the vertical, post, and the dig. He comes out on this. Look at how the defense responds. 2 deep safeties. So when they go 2 deep safeties and then at the snap, right, now they check into a straight single back look. These 2-by-2 looks, the safeties still too deep on the play. Goff knows it's some form of 2 deep coverage. Right, he feels pretty confident it's some form of 2 deep coverage. Plus, that's just how they've been playing us on first down for most of the game. So tendency-wise, you say, hey, let's go to a Tampa 2 beater. So that's what they go to. Inside release, they're going to try to squeeze this inside. He's fine with going inside. He just kind of runs by the cornerback, doesn't get much hands on him. Then they go the flat. Goff comes out, stares the flat down, holds the defender underneath right here, Valentine, holds him, and then he hits it on time, on target, toe tapping, big first down. That was beautiful. That was understanding their tendency, and it was also going out there and giving a look to kind of get the tell, all right, this is what they're going to go into. We're pretty certain that this is the coverage they're going to play. And then, look at this. I mean, this was nasty. Then they go into cover 4 coverage. And you can see it, again, the line's overloaded on the play. Watch how their defense reacts. They're bumping in coverage. Safety rolls over top to the jet motion. But look at how they're playing this. You can see that based on how their coverage bumps, they're still playing 2 deep safeties. So now they're going to play cover 4. Well, look at how smooth this is. You want to see something smooth, Patrick? Watch this. St. Brown, right here. Look at this. Right here. Let me go back. Let me kind of explain. Your number 1 receiver on the outside is Tim Patrick. So outside corner. You have 1 flat defender for that side, but everybody's going to bump down because you're overloaded one side with 1 threat over here. So everybody should bump down in coverage in the quarters look. Everybody should. Well, watch this. You use a fast motion to not reset the number 1. You're keeping the number 1 receiver, this guy, so you're keeping the threat here. But use this motion. Now, you see how it's bumping out the corner? It's pushing him out because you think, oh, that's coming my way. If he releases out here, now I got to deal with it. But J-Mo doesn't. He snaps it. Actually, he does. My line. He does. I'm sorry. He does. He does. That's why he keeps bumping out here. So he goes out there, but watch this. St. Brown doesn't even run a route. He steps back inside. So now it takes that underneath flat defender's coverage. It takes the underneath defender's eyes right to St. Brown. Watch him all the way up. Watch St. Brown. He's like, what is he doing, man? What's that guy doing? and there's nobody here in the flat. Bro, I'm watching that like this is the nastiest. Like, you're watching it live. You're like, why is that guy so open? This is disgusting, bro. Who's doing things like this? You bump the outside corner. He's watching the underneath threat, but you're snapping it before he resets to number one. Because if this isn't fast motion and he just motions across and he settles down out here, now they could just bump over. But instead, you tie along a play fake to pull their eyes already, which already could open you up. And then you have St. Brown walk inside, which takes everybody with him. And now it's like, wait a minute, isn't that the threat? Nope, it's actually Tim Patrick who ran an out route for 11 yards. That dude had like 15 yards of grass on every side of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, Ben Johnson's just out here, you know what I mean? He's out here playing with dudes, man. Now, their run defense, their run defense was pretty good. They did some good things. This was Slayton. Slayton gets upfield. This combo block becomes a disaster here. Shout to Slayton. And then you get this double team, which I'm pretty sure Kenny Clark slips late. Yep, right there. As Skipper tries to let go, get him to the second level. Skipper did some good. I thought there were times where it's like, I don't know if he was blocking the right guy there. Maybe I'll have to find those during the week. There was a couple of those. But, yeah, this is one where, their interior defense line just did a good job. They kind of limited that run. And then we had the big throw. We had the big throw to Saint, which was, from the other angle, it's pretty simple. He just beat him at the top of the route, kind of pushed off. Well, they let that go, I guess. There was pressure, though. You know what I mean? Let me find this, which one this one was, just to be sure. Yeah, this was a cover one blitz, so they're going man cover. This is a 2nd and 17, and we went to St. Brown here. We had him one-on-one outside there, and then Goff, you could see, like, hey, you could play the under, but if you look Goff's eyes, because they're kind of, you see how the cornerbacks run over top, and then you have the underneath defender who's probably responsible for the running back here. It could actually just been a match coverage look based on their eyes, but probably has the underneath here, but the running back doesn't come out. He picks up the blitz, so now he's kind of carrying it too. So the underneath is not open, but if you look at Goff's eyes, he's doing a nice job, and you'll see it early with the safeties rolling. Safety rolls down, the safety goes single high, so you have one-on-ones outside as soon as you go single high. So he does a nice job of just holding it. You see Goff, he's still looking middle of the field. He's letting that guy bail, and then he's able to come back right here and deliver with the dude in his face and put it on St. Brown, and St. Brown delivers. And then to wrap it up, we showed this play at the very beginning. The first touchdown the Lions scored here. This was the play. Does this look familiar? You know what I mean? Chat, does this look familiar? Hold up. Let me run it back. Right here. You watch this play. Watch them walk into the end zone. All right, come back to the last play. Does that look familiar? You know what I mean? Pretty much. Yeah, it's the same look. All right, watch this. Here comes Laporta. Shane's going to lead the way. They lean on their tight ends, but this time you can see how their front's playing it differently because we gave them that sneak threat. So they're going A gap, B gap, A gap, B gap, right? They're pressed inside there. Well, now like he's got to play the edge. He's got to play the edge. He's on the tight end. So now all of a sudden Sewell just down blocks and then settles up to Walker. And then you have Patrick, Zylstra, and you got Laporta in a fast motion. It's about the tight ends leading the way, and they lean on him. Now Goff trips over his feet, but they do what they did earlier in the game. And these two just take the linebacker completely out of the play, and they're walking forward for 7 yards, man. It's the same exact play that they ran, which is, to me, probably why they had so much confidence in being like, yeah, we can go get this. We'll just run that same exact play again because, yeah, it's 4th and 1. Like, they're expecting the sneak. You know what I mean? Like, it makes it like that's the one thing we can't give up. We can't go out of here and know that we gave up a dang QB sneak. Other notes from this one, I hit on the Goff stuff. I thought Muhammad did really well. I thought Amik Robertson did well in this game. That's been kind of a consistent. Kirby Joseph, I thought, did really good. Kirby's been so flexible for us recently, man. There were plays in here I didn't even show where he's like picking dudes up in coverage downfield. Kirby's been so versatile for us. Frank Ragnow, not great as a run blocker. Zedarius had the 3 pressures in this game, which was solid. But it's overall, man, like this is the reason that I don't even care if they had to play home or the road. Like it's better at home because I think we can play every style because weather just doesn't become a factor. We can play any style we want to. But I believe that they're going to come in with a really smart plan. And I think right now with where they're at in the season, specifically offensively, Patrick, Laporta, of course, we know what he is. We know what he is. But J-Mo, really Patrick and J-Mo kind of expanding their games a little bit. Like Jameson's been able to just go win one-on-one outside. Patrick had one earlier this year. And then Patrick is now just coming along so much as a route winner, but specifically a zone coverage beater. And I think he's been that for sure. Those guys getting to where they're at without Khalif, and when Khalif gets back, he'll help us against man for sure. But those guys getting to where they at, it gives you so many different ways that you can just come out and play a game. And then you have a guy like Goff who's very willing to just say, check down, check down, check down. I don't need to push the ball downfield. And it's not like oh, he's scared to push it or kind of thing. It's just like, no, that's how they're playing. They ran Tampa 2 on. Did I mark how many times they ran it? It was a ridiculous amount. I didn't mark how many times, but they did it a majority of the time. They went Tampa 2 on second down. They went single high. So they gave us those one-on-one matchups and we delivered, but it was specific. And they played some man on third, and we almost converted half of those. But it's specifically first down. They're going to play two deep safeties, aggressive linebacker play. So we went play action, we went screens, and we just took everything that they gave us. And I think that was the difference in this one. That golf plank fall pinched my stomach. Yeah, watching it live, yeah, absolutely. I would watch this Sunday night game, but it would might be given win to the Chiefs. Man, I'm telling you, man, I hope they lose, bro. I hope they lose so bad. What up, though? 313 Thug Boss, I see you. Unfortunately, we didn't have some great results today. Panthers handled business. Well, not Panthers. Eagles handled business, kind of. They won, though. Vikings, my gosh. Hey, I'm glad I'm not a Vikings fan, dude. I'm not a Vikings fan, I'm a Falcons fan. That was so disappointing. They came into that one tied in the fourth quarter. Like, this is going to be a battle. They fumble the football, throw a pick in the end zone. Like, what are y'all doing, man? That was a disaster. That was a horrible fourth quarter. And now they fell behind Tampa. Bro, they're not even going to make the dang playoffs. You know what I mean? That was the most disgusting thing. Like the skipping bam. All right, I don't know what that is, but yes. Absolutely. Shout out to Dan Scary. Skipper was handling business, man. We do miss Taylor Decker as a run blocker, though. I'm telling you, we're missing that guy. What do we do schematically on defense, specifically at nose? I feel like there was ups and downs from Broderick. There was some good. Honestly, if he didn't have the plays where he was like late on the field, that one that walked him into the end zone, probably wouldn't be remembered as that bad of a game. I think it was bad. I think it was just like a lot of this, but I thought there was more of this than I actually expected when watching it back. I didn't think our run defense was horrible. Like, I thought it was watching it live, but I didn't think it was horrible watching it back. I think we gave them some things, and I don't know. Like, to me, hopefully Reader's back. I mean, that's the biggest thing. Hopefully Reader's back. But if he's not, I think we could do similar to what we did in this game. We could be okay. I think we could. I mean, I don't know what Buffalo does, though, offensively. That'd be the thing. I bet Ben is going to leave Allen Robinson as a secret unexpected weapon. Hey, why not? Why not? Now, I did see, I don't know how many snaps he played. Maybe one. I saw him out there in this game. He may have only played one snaps, and he blocked one of the red zone looks. He was a blocker in like the goal line formation. So I was like, all right, he'll still block. I mean, that's what you meant? All right. Oh, okay, I don't know what you but he did. He is a blocker. You know what I mean? All these dudes are gonna block. Like, I had more stuff up here too. The straight drops offensively are great. What else we got? A lot of heavy personnel again. Pat O'Connor was a dog. I should not have forgot that. Pat O'Connor did his thing. Green Bay came out the second half. They took their one-on-one shots. We saw that immediately. I thought Carlton kind of rose to the occasion a little bit. Carlton was solid. They had some tough contested grabs. I thought the run defense was better than I thought, though, in the second half. I really did. It was better than I thought in the second half. Jamal Adams got involved a little bit. Took a Meek off the field, so we'll have to see how that's going to work going forward. I still think there's positives there. I just didn't think he had enough to really show us what he's capable of. But I think that's going to be the best way to use him, to be honest, is you got to use him against the run. You got to use him against the run. You got to use him as a blitzer. Pat O'Connor had actually, he was popping off the line, man. And it was man, it's crazy that dude can even play nose tackle. It's ridiculous. Allen had 45 points. No, that's insane. Hold up. How did my fantasy team do? Nowoski, I think, is getting better. Quan Alexander had a rough stretch. So I showed you that play where he got beat from behind on the cover 3. I think like right before that, right after it, he missed a complete tackle against the run. He had a rough stretch. I didn't think he played horrible. He came out good, though. He showed some real instincts as a run defender. He just needs more time. And I don't know if that's something that's going to get better or not, but I think I'm optimistic that being like involved a little bit more, like in time, Quan will be a little bit more consistent. But it was so half and half in terms of their snaps there. Tight ends blocked well again, which is carried over. Oh, yeah, we handle in business. Guarendo was great today. 78 yards, 2 touchdowns. We handle in business, man. Lions resting is dangerous. Man, we need it too, though. We need it, bro. I want to be honest. Is there any team in the league that you absolutely don't like? I'm actually curious. Yeah, I don't like the Packers. Like that, I don't want to say. Like, I don't know. Like, no, like I don't like the Packers. Like, I like what the Packers story, how they put it together, the move they made to go get Aaron Rodgers, the Ron Wolf. Like I like the background of kind of building that team. I think it's pretty awesome. You know, how they made how they got free agents there, that kind of deal, and like made that team a football team. Like that's pretty awesome how they got it built. But I wasn't alive for that. I've just read about it. Actually, what the Packers are, I don't like the Packers at all. I don't like the Vikings at all either. I don't know. Like I don't have as much history. It's always been the Packers for me. Vikings, I don't really like the Vikings. Bears, I don't like the Bears. But it's more so the Packers than anybody, to be honest. And then the Cowboys. I don't know how much hate. You know what's weird? I think the Cowboys was always from the bad calls or whatever. But like, I don't know. Like at least right at this moment, I don't have much hate for the Cowboys. You know what I mean? Honestly, in some ways, I kind of feel bad. I feel bad for their fans a little bit. Like I don't think they know what they're doing over there. I feel bad for the Cowboys fans, I should say, a little bit. Like the legit Cowboys fan, not the the legit Cowboys fans. Those dudes are going through it, man. I'm like y'all have like nothing to look forward to, it feels like. I mean, to be honest, like with Jerry Jones, I don't even know how you get I don't know how this is supposed to get right. I don't know. I feel bad a little bit in some ways. Their story was good from the start, bad after half. Will Aaron Glenn use a spy? No, he will not. I would not bet on it. If he uses a spy, it'll be the first time we see it. I would say go back and watch us play him on Thanksgiving. I know we lost that game, so maybe turn it off before we lose. But yeah, I don't think we played any spies in that game. I don't think he'll play a spy on Josh Allen. Maybe he does. Maybe he does some wild stuff. Now, I could see him heat Josh Allen up. That wouldn't shock me. Just like immediate thoughts, and this may not be true. I don't know. I'll have to see when I kind of prepare for that one. But if he came out and he was like super aggressive against Josh, you know what I mean? Like, let's fill lanes, let's get aggressive, let's make him uncomfortable. Because ultimately, like, if you're filling enough gaps when you're blitzing, there's really nowhere to go anyway. That might make a lot of sense. I could see him doing that. They're gonna stress rush lane integrity, but I don't think he'll be using a spy. I gotta say, the Cowboys watched a lot of painful games at 2014. 2014 was rough. 2014 was rough. I remember that one well. That one was so rough too because of the way we got off, 14-0. The way we got started in that one is what made it worse. We were like, we had that. I mean, bro, it felt so good. We were up 14-0. And then after that, man, like the night was just ruined, bro. It was ruined. I was wearing a Tate shirt. It killed me, man. So yeah, the 2014 was rough, dude. Honestly, I think 2016. The Golden Tate being short with the runoff. I know it wasn't a playoff game. We would have been 3-1 if we would have won that game. It kind of just felt like we finally were trending like not finally, but we were truly. Was that 2016? That wasn't 2016. That was what year was that? 2017? I don't know what year that was. I feel like that was 2017 because we went 9-7. But anyway, like that was the game, bro, because we win that. It felt like, oh, we are here. You know what I mean? Like this is a team. You know what I'm saying? But then. And then I think the other one would be when we lost with Patricia. We were 2-0-1. What was our record that? Hold up, let me look this up. The year we were 2-0-1 and then we lost. Cuz I thought bro, we were like it's what's crazy though? Looking back on that, like we were 2-0-1, bro, and I thought we were like the toughest team in the league. Bro, now we're 12-1. It's crazy. What year was that? Was that 20? I don't know what year it was. 2018? Nah, it wasn't 2018. Hold up. 20. It might have been 2018. No, heck no. It was not 2018. 2020. Was it 2017? No, wait. Dang, I don't remember what year it was. Hold up. Now I want to know. Now I want to know before it. Mine's 2020. No, wait. 2020 was not Dan Campbell. Hold up. I don't know. Chat, I don't know what year it was. What year was that? Why are they saying? Dang. Okay, wait. I must be remembering something wrong here. Nah, we had a good start one year, bro. Oh, okay. It was 2019. Yeah. We tied the Cardinals, beat the Chargers, beat Philly, and then we lost to Kansas City. That was the year. Because after losing to Kansas City 34-30, and we went to battle with that team. It was the loss to Green Bay. The primetime game, the Trey Flowers hands to the face. We lost by 1, 23-22. That was the game because that was like, oh, we are We're going to get there. And then after we lost that one, bro, everything just went downhill. And Stafford got hurt, we just lost out of the season. Like, that was the one, man. I thought we were on to something that year. Y'all remember that. I was doing YouTube at that time. Dang. Yeah, that one hurts. That one hurts. I only dislike teams. I got a lot of comments saying that Jones should fire his GM. Yeah, bro. I don't even know who their GM is, to be honest with you. Him, his son, isn't it his son? Well, Aaron Glenn uses spy for Josh Allen. No, I don't think he'll use a spy. If he uses a spy, I'd be shocked. I would bet against him using a spy. I would heavily bet against that. But yeah, man, I think we dang, that's crazy. I think that was everything, man. I didn't want to make this video too long or this live stream too long, but it is his son. Oh, dang. Yeah, bro, he won't fire us. Hey, if he did though. Thank God we lost. I think that's what made us go after Holmes and Campbell. Honestly, true though. Yeah, no, that's true. That's true because look, that last year was 2021. Yeah. It's tough, man. I mean, I couldn't tell my old self that. Like, heck no, bro. You don't want to lose. But, man, I shot to Sheila, man. Sheila's turning this thing around. Ever since Sheila took it over, man, she's had a handle on it. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe Ingstrand? I don't think he's going to leave, though. I'm going to keep saying that. I don't think he's going to leave. But my guess would be Ingstrand, but I don't know. I will say this, though. I think there's times, too, where you feel like Ben is definitely more involved with the passing attack than the rushing attack. Like, the passing attack is ridiculously detailed. Not to say the run game isn't. But there's, like, I don't even know if I want to say that, but, like, some of the stretch runs, I'm just like, I don't know if I love this coming in. And it's not to say, like, it couldn't have worked. I just don't think we executed all of them. But I didn't love it coming in, and we kind of did it a lot. Versus the pass game, where, like, the amount of detail and, like, tendency expectation that goes into it is insane. It's insane. You know what I mean? So, like, they do a good job with the run scheme. There's diversity there. But I just feel like the passing attack is insanely unique, where every week it feels like there's something different, and it looks different. It's like, this doesn't even look like the same offense. But the run game, I feel like we kind of have a we lean zone heavy, that kind of deal. I don't think sometimes we have enough, like, straight gap scheme. And I'm like, man, we could use a little bit more polars in this. But there's always creative runs there. There's always creative runs, like the St. Brown one in this last game. I just feel like from a consistency spot, the pass game always feels like it's on just some kind of different level, man. I don't know, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. But anyways, they did a fantastic job. The coaching's been on point. This was an incredible win. I wish we would have got more help today, but maybe eventually. But we need the rest. That's what it is, man. Hopefully everybody's had a great weekend. Man, I'm going to leave that there. I think we hit on everything. I'm going to be back this week with something. I don't know. I might show some, like, plays again. We'll probably get on to the Bills, like, middle of the week. You know what I mean? Y'all let me know if there's something you all want to see. I mean, just let me know. But I'm going to leave it there, man. I think we hit on everything. Appreciate y'all joining. We may have to do a live during the week. I know we'll have the roundtable. We may have to do a live during the week, too. I know we did one for the injuries last week. I enjoy the live streams. I think I enjoy the live streams more in a lot of ways. You know, they're a little bit easier. A little bit easier to make. But anyway, if y'all, what'd y'all think of the Dan Campbell video, though? Did anybody watch it? I dropped that on Friday because I saw, like, earlier that day, like, people were going crazy on social media. I was like, I got to address this. I can't just let this be the noise about Dan Campbell. So I was like, all right, I'm just going to. But it's weird, too, because, like, my opinions haven't really changed, but I do feel like there was certain things where it's like, all right, our defense was actually playing a little better than I thought. They were a little bit better here. Bills gassed out. That's a ridiculous score. 44-42 is insane. All right, yeah, let's get out of here. We out. Have a great weekend, and or rest of your weekend, and I'll see y'all next week. We out. Go Lions. 12-1. 12-1 is insane. It's a great record. Amazing.